Cars coming up to the grid for race number 1 then, the Pre-66 touring cars. We can hand down to Ewan Dunlop in the pits, who's got some of the drivers for us.
We are here in the paddock with Alan Greenhalgh, fastest in the Pre-66. You're used to being on pole position, aren't you?
I like being on pole position. It's the best place to start from, so long as I can see the lights. You know, some of the tracks, the line is so close to the lights that I have to duck down to see them. But yes, no, I prefer to be on the front.
Always the best place to be, and you've converted several of those this season into wins as well. You're having a great championship.
Yes, it's not going too badly, except in order to score points you have to really have 3 in the class, and so most of the season we've only had 2, so that means that you can't score maximum points. So championship is not in my grasp yet, but maybe, well, we've got 3 now, so hopefully the 3 will become regulars, and then there's a better chance.
Now tell us about this absolute beast of a car behind us.
Well, as you can see, it's about the size of a boat. It steers like a boat. It's on old cross-ply tyres, and they're all Pre-66 prepared to period specification. So this actual car was built as an FIA car back in the 80s by a Finnish chap who raced it around Europe. He then sold it to an American guy, who was the CEO of, I can't remember, one of the Pepsi Cola or something or other, so he spent gazillions on it, but he turned it into a Carrera Pan America car. And he made I thought the mistake, although he's a multimillionaire, he made the mistake of selling the car in the Concours d'Elegance sale on the East Coast somewhere. I thought, well, that's an odd place to put it, but he had some other swanky $1 million thing in there. And so anyway, I bought it from there. We turned it back into an FIA car, and that was about 2015, I think. So we've been progressively getting better and better.
I know every car's got a story, but some of them are just absolutely magic. Do you make any changes between now and the race?
Well, no, we'll do a complete nut and bolt check. I was getting a bit of understeer, so we'll probably change the tyres to some that have got a bit less tread on the basis it's going to be dry tomorrow. And then that's it. All the temperatures are good. Everything, hopefully, cross fingers.
I've got a feeling we'll be talking to you on the podium later. Good luck with the race, Alan.
That would be very nice. Thank you very much.
Good to hear from Alan Greenhalgh there, and he sits on pole position for our first race of the day, the Pultec Race Engines Pre-66 touring cars, a wonderful mixture of classic machinery on the grid. Alan Greenhalgh on pole, alongside him Robin Slater with his Ford Anglia. Second row, the first of the minis, Barry Syme, all the way from Scotland, starts alongside James Ibbotson. Great efforts in his Hillman Imp. Row 3, Little and Large, you've got Piers Grange in his Ford Mustang, alongside Neil Bray in his Mini. Then the fourth row, a pair of minis, Nathan Williams in the number 12 car, alongside number 60, which is Michael Davies. On row 5, we have Pat Keneally in the first of the Lotus Cortinas, starting alongside Kevin Swan in his Ford Anglia. Row 6, Andy Mesham Mini, Martin Reynolds Anglia. And on the 7th row, James Burrows in his Mini, starts alongside Adam Gittings in the first of the Morris Minors. The next row is row 8, which is Eric Ez Walker with his Anglia, alongside Michael Loveland in a Hillman Imp. The 9th row of the grid, Luke Wilson in his Austin A40, starts alongside Paul Cooper's Ford Cortina. Row 10, we should have seen Freddie Brown with his Hillman Imp, but he's a non-starter, I believe, due to engine problems. Starting alongside reigning champion Patrick Harris, number 1, with his Morris Minor. Good to see Tim Scott Andrews back out. He hasn't raced for a while. He's in a Ford Falcon alongside Stephen Evans in his Austin A40. The penultimate row of the grid, Nathan Beresford. He's in a BMW 1800 Ti alongside Keith Wright in his Morris Minor. David Hall, who had problems in qualifying with his Lotus Cortina, starting at the back. Alongside, in addition to the grid, Tim Dodwell with his Mini. He missed qualifying yesterday, so starts at the back. What a beautiful grid of cars we have here. A rather sombre mood here at Brands Hatch, but as they say, the show must go on. And I'm sure our friend and colleague from the Orange Army, would have wanted things to go on today here at Brands Hatch. So we race on with the Pultec Race Engines Pre-66 touring cars, a mixture of little and large. We've got the big American beasts out there, the big Fords of Piers Grange, the reigning Blue Oval Saloon Series champion, won that in his modified Mark II Escort, now switching to a Mustang for this season. Alan Greenhalgh, as we heard in his interview, regular class winner in the Ford Falcon, but not in contention for the overall championship. It's the smaller classes that do that. Class A for the big machines. I don't think we've got any entries in Class B. Class C is for Minis and Anglias. Class D is Morris Minors and Austin A40s, plus the BMW of Nathan Beresford. Class E is for the Hillman Imps, and Class F for the Lotus Cortinas. Try and keep you up to date with the class leaders as the race goes on. This will be a 15-minute race around this short Brands Hatch Indy circuit, just under 2 kilometres in length. Cars come up to the grid then for the Pultec Race Engines Pre-66 touring cars, the first of 2 races for them today. Alan Greenhalgh in pole position with the big Ford Falcon alongside Robin Slater, his best ever qualifying efforts in the Ford Anglia alongside him. Barry Syme in his Mini, the bright blue machine on the second row. Great effort by young James Ibbotson, the first of the Hillman Imps, well up in 4th overall. Piers Grange in the big Mustang in 5th on the grid alongside Neil Bray with his Mini. There's number 66 of Adam Gittings with his Morris Minor. I think that may well be the ex-Michael Foley car. Michael was supposed to be here in the Lotus Cortina this weekend, but not on the grid for this one. Tim Dodwell starting at the back in his Mini, drives his car on the road to events and has owned it from new. Great character is Tim. So once everybody is in position, the marshal at the back of the grid will wave the green flag, then the red lights will come on, and then when they go out we'll be underway. Over 15 minutes time to go racing here at Brands Hatch. Orange Army, this meeting is for you. Revs begin to rise and away we go over 15 minutes down towards the first corner. Not the best of starts by the big Ford Falcon. Robin Slater up alongside him as they head into Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Barry Syme in 3rd place in his Mini. Piers Grange with a good start in the Ford Mustang. They filter their way through Paddock Bend and the power of the Falcon tells. Takes the lead up the hill, but look at Barry Syme up the inside in the Mini. He's going to go through into 2nd place at Druids Hill Bend for the first time. 4th place Neil Bray in the Mini. That's Piers Grange. James Ibbotson 6th in the Hillman Imp as they come down the hill into the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend. Clean start so far. The Morris Minor of Adam Gittings well up there, the black car. Side by side Martin Reynolds there in the Anglia with one of the Minis. It's Alan Greenhalgh who will lead the first lap. Bit of understeer from the 25 there of Barry Syme. 3rd place Robin Slater in the blue Ford Anglia. They've broken away slightly from Neil Bray, who's up to 4th in his Mini ahead of Piers Grange. There's a yellow flag, so possibly somebody has gone off on the entry to Paddock Bend. We'll try and wait and see there. I saw a yellow flag as they came out of Clearways onto the start-finish straights. Yes, there's a car stopped coming off the grid. Who is that? That's the problem. There's a couple of cars that haven't come through. Andy Mesham showing has not completed the first lap, but he may not have taken the start. Nor has Michael Loveland in his Hillman Imp. They are showing as having not come through, so they may not have taken the start of the race. Meantime, the battle is on for the lead. Barry Syme in the Mini and Alan Greenhalgh. Greenhalgh powering down the straights using the power of the Falcon to take the lead, but the Mini much more nimble in the corners. They swap places in the first part of the lap, the twistier part, but Alan Greenhalgh able to power back ahead down Cooper Straights. Robin Slater's got a grandstand view of all of this in his Ford Anglia. Now watch the Falcon pull away. There he goes. Alan Greenhalgh pulls away from the little Mini down the straights. Into Paddock Bend they go, but the Mini will have the advantage on the run through Druids and Graham Hill Bend. 4th is Piers Grange. He's got the Mustang ahead of Neil Bray. Then Ibbotson in 6th place in the Imp. Piers Grange runs a bit wide there over the curb coming out of Paddock. As we heard from Alan Greenhalgh pre-race, these big American beasts, not the easiest cars to handle. They use their power advantage down the straights to pull away from the smaller cars. Some modern fans are amazed to learn this is what the British Touring Car Championship looked like back in the early 1960s. The Ford Falcons were run by the likes of Alan Mann Racing. Australian Frank Gardner was a leading exponent in Falcons. Of course, the Minis were handled by the likes of Sir John Whitmore, John Love, the Rhodesian driver, John Fitzpatrick as well, also famous for racing Anglia's John Fitzpatrick. Greenhalgh pulling away at the front of the field. His lead over Barry Syme, this time through 1.8 seconds. Fastest lap of the race by Greenhalgh, 58.967. As Neil Bray up the inside in the Mini takes the Mustang of Piers Grange. The Mustang did win the British Touring Car Championship in the early 60s. Roy Pierpoint was the driver on that occasion. First 5 have broken away. It's the number 12 of Nathan Williams up into 6th position. James Ibbotson goes down to 7th, but he's still leading Class E for the Hillman Imps. 8th place is Pat Keneally in his Lotus Cortina. Then in 9th position, it is the Davies Mini, Michael Davies driving in race 1. There's James Ibbotson, the Class E leader in his beautiful Hillman Imp, the rear engine machine. But here comes Pat Keneally, he's going through at Surtees Bend. The more powerful Lotus Cortina, one of the most iconic saloon car racers of all time. First homologation special for saloon racing. Look at it sliding there through clearways in the hands of Pat Keneally. Now, who is the car that's pulled off there? I think it's Michael Loveland, possibly in the Ford Anglia that we've lost there. You see the roof of it on the right of your screen there from Paddock Bend as Greenhalgh continues to set the pace. 1.8 seconds his lead. Slater lapping quickly in his Anglia. He's second in Class C behind Barry Syme. Greenhalgh leads Class A. Class F is being led by Pat Keneally. Class E by Ibbotson. We just saw them swap places overall. Class D is led by Adam Gittings in the black Morris Minor. There were no entries in Class B this weekend. Normally see the Everard family's Alfa Romeo in Class B. That's not here. Barry Syme flinging the Mini around. Enters a variety of classic and historic racing events in that car. It's under 10 minutes to go for Alan Greenhalgh. Plenty of battling further down the order. And there is Tim Dodwell, number 83. Note the number plates. Yes, he drives that car on the road to the race events. He's owned it since new back in the 1960s. The Dodwell family, great characters in historic racing. Battling with Keith Wright in his Morris Minor there, the Bedfordshire-based plumber. Greenhalgh continues to lead the way. There's a nice little scrap going on. At the back of it, Luke Wilson, the former champion in his Austin A40. Sliding his way through there, Robin Slater. Dropping back a little now into 3rd place. Well, he did do a purple Sector 1 last time through. Greenhalgh over the line. Still has the fastest lap of the race, 58.967. He's coming up to lap Dodwell and Wright, who we saw earlier on. There's another of the Minis. That's Andy Mesham. We thought we'd lost him at the start of the race. Just had a slow start. Greenhalgh breezes past the smaller cars in a straight line. Barry Syme trying to charge his way through. The lead gap increased by nearly half a second on that last lap. Greenhalgh with his headlights on, you can see to warn the back markers that he's coming, but I think they get fair warning with the sheer size of that thing in their mirrors, especially compared to that little Austin A40 that's just gone a lap down there. That's driven by Steve Evans. Brian Bedford will drive that car in race 2. There's Grange still in 4th place ahead of Neil Bray. They've been swapping places for fun all the way through this race. Nathan Williams in his Mini is next, then Pat Keneally. There is James Ibbotson in the Hillman Imp, still leading his class. Behind him is the Mini of Michael Davies. And then we've got Martin Reynolds in his Ford Anglia. He's got a couple of classic Fords that he races. He's got his much more modified Anglia here this weekend, competing in the Blue Oval Saloon Series. Lead gap is up to 3.5 seconds now. Barry Syme having a more difficult time dealing with the back markers, I think. As Greenhalgh manhandles the Falcon through Druids Bend. There's the other Falcon, Tim Scott Andrews. I saw him race in the BMW Compact Cup. Father Tony, a noted club racer as well, and an eminent motorsport lawyer, Tony Scott Andrews. There's the BMW of Nathan Beresford going a lap down. Beautiful car, that one, the BMW 1800. Greenhalgh continues to set the pace. Barry Syme almost through the back markers now. It has Robin Slater closed in for second place. We'll have a look this time through as they cross the line. There goes Syme over the line to complete his 8th lap. Now, the gap is 3/4 of a second between the Mini and the Anglia, so Robin Slater starting to close in. The lead gap's up to over 3 seconds. There's your top 3. Further back in 4th place is Piers Grange with the Mustang. Lifting a wheel there, Barry Syme through Druids Bend. This is great stuff. Mini Cooper celebrates its 60th birthday this year. There's been a racer right since it was created. Here comes the leader into Clearways. Coming up to lap the similar Falcon, and there's the reigning champion, Patrick Harris, in the maroon Morris Minor. He's won a couple of championships in this Pultec Pre-66 division. Barry Syme now passing him, and the other Falcon goes a lap down, Tim Scott Andrews. Such beautiful cars, the Ford Falcons. Robin Slater's definitely closing here. The gap's down to 0.6 of a second now between Syme and Slater. They are in the same class as well, so this is for points towards the overall championship. The 2 Class C cars, they've got to lap Tim Scott Andrews. Yes, he gets out of their way. Oh, a lock up there from Robin Slater. He had to avoid clipping the back of Barry Syme. A little bit over-eager there from Robin Slater, I think. I don't think they're going to catch Alan Greenhalgh. He's starting to get away at the front now. They can have their own fight for second. They're well clear of everybody else. Piers Grange and Neil Bray's battle is well back. Oh, in fact, Piers Grange on the last lap has pulled into the pits, so the Mustang has unfortunately got a problem. We've lost Piers Grange into the pits, out of our sight there, so it's Neil Bray up to 4th now in the Mini, but he's about 12.5 seconds down on this battle for second place, with Nathan Williams in his Mini rounding up the top 5. Here come the leaders. You can see Grange in the background there making his way back to the paddock. He is a retirement. They're coming up towards Druids Hill Bend, and Barry Syme still has the advantage for second place. Further back in the order, there's another Mini. That's James Burrows. Blew his engine at Brands Hatch in the corresponding meeting last year. He's ahead of Luke Wilson in the number 69 Austin A40. They've got one of the Cortinas behind them. That's Paul Cooper in the Cortina GT. Got 4.5 minutes of this race to go. And the main focus is the battle for second. There goes Greenhalgh. Nearly 4 seconds clear now of Syme and Slater. Mini still has second place. You can hear in the background the lovely rumble of that V8 in the Ford Falcon. 4.7 litres the engine in that car. Robin Slater still gives chase. Oh, we've got a spinner, and there's been some contact there. That's the number 26, Steve Evans, in the Austin A40. You can see damage on the rear quarter panel there, so it looks like he's been hit at Druids, unfortunately. Stuck there facing the wrong way, and the leaders are coming up past that. There'll be yellow flags out at Druids from the volunteer marshals. There goes James Burrows. Where's he running? 13th place ahead of Luke Wilson. Behind them is Paul Cooper in the Cortina. Leaders are coming up to lap them very shortly. There's Greenhalgh in behind Cooper. And they're still nose to tail, the 2 blue machines, for second and third. Barry Syme, Robin Slater. Barry Syme from Glasgow. Robin Slater comes from Sudbury in the southeast. So on one of his local circuits here. Chasing the Scotsman for second place. Barry Syme began his career in single-seaters before switching to historic racing. I remember seeing him in Formula Ford a few years ago. There's Adam Gittins. He's leading Class D in the Morris Minor. Second in that class, Luke Wilson's Austin A40. There's a battle further back. James Ibbotson, after his heroic qualifying efforts, has dropped back a bit. He's down to 9th now. There's Ez Walker, who's raced saloon cars for many years, raced on the short ovals as well. He is further down the order. We'll try and pick up where he is. He's in 10th place. Here's the battle for second. 2.5 minutes to go. Alan Greenhalgh leading by just under 4 seconds. 68 of Keith Wright. I think he's 2 laps down now. There goes the leader. We just caught a glimpse of him, and the battle for second is still close. Here they come out of Clearways. Through Clark Curve onto the Sir Jack Brabham Straights, named after the 3-time Formula One world champion. And here comes Robin Slater. He's going to go for the outside run down towards Paddock Bend. That's a brave move. He's going to get round the outside of the Mini, but who's going to brake later? And there's a back marker there as well. I think he's got through into second place there, Robin Slater. Yes, he's done it round the outside. Excellent bit of driving by Robin Slater in the Ford Anglia. That was a very brave move, especially with the back marker on the outside as well. He threaded the eye of the needle there, and he's got second and the lead of Class C away from Barry Syme. Syme goes down to third. They're well clear of Neil Bray in his Mini in fourth place. Nathan Williams fifth, and it's Pat Keneally's Lotus Cortina in sixth, leading Class F. James Ibbotson still leads Class E, and Class D is Adam Gittings, but there's just over a minute left on the clock now. We'll get, I think, 2 more laps out of this. It's going to be close as they cross the line here. Yes, exactly 1 minute as the race leader crosses the line, so we might see the checkered flag this time. We'll wait and see. Is that a bit of damage I see on the left front of Adam Gittings' car there, the Morris Minor? He may have made contact with Steve Evans in the Austin A40. There goes Alan Greenhalgh. He's heading for victory. Yeah, Evans has pulled into the paddock in his A40. He's out of the race. Down to Graham Hill Bend comes the leader for what could be the last time. We'll wait and see if we get 1 more lap out of this. It was close as they crossed the line on time. Alan Greenhalgh, the man from New Malden, claims the car handles like a boat, but he's handled it very nicely in this one. He's 6.5 seconds up now. 10 seconds on the clock as he comes into Clark Curve. Will it be checkered flag this time, or is the last lap board going to go out? It's going to be very close as they cross the line. Yes, the checkered flag goes out. Alan Greenhalgh takes the win. Who's going to be second? It's going to be Robin Slater in the Ford Anglia. 1.3 seconds up on Barry Syme after that brave move around the outside into Paddock Bend a couple of laps from home. Further back in fourth place, it should be Neil Bray in his Mini, number 76. He comes across the line being chased by a Cortina there around the outside. Pat Keneally getting 5th place on the last lap there ahead of Nathan Williams, getting round the outside out of Clark Curve there. The Cortina out dragging the Mini of Nathan Williams for 6th. Further back next through we should see the number 60 Michael Davies Mini across the line for 7th place further back. 8th will go, I think, to Martin Reynolds in the Anglia as the race winner heads back into the paddock signalled by the marshals. It's Martin Reynolds takes 8th. James Ibbotson wins his class in 9th in the Hillman Imp. And it should be Ez Walker who will complete the top 10 in his Ford Anglia. It's across the line. Yes, no, it was Kevin Swan, in fact, who came through in 10th. There's Walker's transponder played up there, so he didn't catch him crossing the line straight away. Walker 11th. Adam Gittings wins his class in 12th. We'll confirm the full results in a few moments' time. And our Pultec Race Engines Pre-66 touring cars. Greenhalgh confirmed as the winner by 7 seconds ahead of Robin Slater. He wins Class C after overtaking Barry Syme in the first of the Minis. Neil Bray taking 4th. And Pat Keneally snatching 5th on the last lap, winning Class F in the Lotus Cortina. Nathan Williams 6th ahead of Michael Davies. 8th went to Martin Reynolds' Anglia. James Ibbotson wins Class E in 9th place. Kevin Swan 10th in his Ford Anglia. Ez Walker 11th. Adam Gittings 12th in the Morris Minor, winning Class Class D, I should say. James Burrows 13th, Luke Wilson 14th, and Paul Cooper's Cortina completing the top 15. 16th went to Tim Scott Andrews in the Ford Falcon. Patrick Harris, the reigning champion, 17th, and I think 3rd place in class. Then it was Beresford's BMW next turn, then Tim Dodwell in his Mini. The final finisher was Keith Wright's Morris Minor, because we lost Steve Evans, Piers Grange and Andy Mesham. Michael Loveland a non-starter. That concludes the first race of the day then for the Pultec Race Engines Pre-66 touring cars. First of our classic touring car racing club events today. We've got several more events for them a little later on. Also a revised timetable for racing today. You can find the timetable on the British Automobile Racing Club website. Live timing available online as well. Well, next up on track today, we are going to see the second race of the weekend for the Jaguar Enthusiasts Club Saloon and GT Championship and the Burton Power Blue Oval Saloon Series. They're going to be up on track fairly shortly. One car to be cleared from outside the grid. That's Michael Loveland. That's where he went. He never got off the start line. That's why he didn't show on the timing as they came through. Okay, we can now hand down to Ewan Dunlop down in Parc Fermé, who's ready to talk to some of the drivers.
Parc Fermé with Robin Slater, second in the race, first in class. Robin.
Thank you very much. Most unexpected.
I don't believe that for 1 second. Talk us through your race.
Got a reasonable start. Barry clipped me on the Druids, got in front. I thought I'd just hang on, try and get rhythm. And then when the back markers started to appear, I thought now's my chance to pull up and just persevere with following everybody through and managed to outrun Barry on the main straight. Just a little bit more grunt than he's in.
Now, Alan's got a beast of a car in front of us, but you've managed to sort of almost keep up with him throughout that race.
Yeah. That's a small car circuit, as a leveller, for the small cars.
And how do you approach the race when there's so many cars on track, so many different classes? It does get fairly bunched up at a time. And you mentioned the back markers. Is there a tactic to deal with that?
No, most of them are good. Most of them they're blue flag, they'll move and they'll let you through. Occasionally there's somebody who maybe wants to take your line, but yeah, I'm pretty chilled about it.
And it's all about looking after each other's cars really as well, because they are beautiful.
That's the name of the game for me, is keeping the car straight.
And Robin, your car's just got about 18 inches taller. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Pleasure, I really enjoyed it.
Well done. And we've got our winner here as well, Alan.
Yeah.
That's enough photos, Alan, come on. We spoke to you yesterday, you were
We
fairly confident. It's a beast of a car, the number 77.
Yeah.
Talk us through that race, because it was fairly close actually at places.
Well, at the beginning it's always close because minis and anglers all over the place, and it takes a lot longer for these tyres to warm up. But once we got going, it was okay. But as I said to the other chap, we're just so desperately upset about yesterday, and it's a bit of a hollow victory really. But without the marshals, we wouldn't be racing at all. So condolences, and our thoughts are with the family, and
if anything puts things in perspective, that
it
does.
does.
Now, you had Robin and Patrick in your mirrors throughout. Were you confident holding them off though?
Well, I just had to make sure I didn't make a mistake, and on this circuit in particular, that's quite easy because it's all over the place. There's no time to relax. People call that a straight, but it's not a straight. It's lumpy and bumpy. There's a big dip. It's a constant curve, and so if I take my eyes off the track for 1 second, I'm in the bin. So I have to be very careful.
Alan, congratulations on a great race. Enjoy your trophy behind you.
Thank you very much.